really real. I think people think it's all fake.
This is what I want to ask you.
It's real. The whole thing's real.
So the tasks are real?
Everything's real, and it's harder than what you see because we all live in a house together, so it's a bit like Big Brother.
Yeah.
And the tasks, you get like, sometimes you'll have 10 minutes to brainstorm a name for something.
Right.
And imagine anyone, Alan Sugar himself, brainstorming a name in 10 minutes, you're gonna pick something that's not the best. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course you are.
It's a lot harder than people realising.
My name is Nik Nagarkar, and you are locked into Culture TV. For the culture, by the culture. Let's go.
Sian Gabbidon.
Hi.
How's it all going?
It's going good, yeah. It's going really, really good, actually. Obviously, I have a brand, and we've just...
I gathered.
Yeah, I wear it literally every day.
What is it called?
It's called Sian Marie.
Sian Marie, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that your middle name?
Yeah.
Right, okay. And you've just got it in George...
George Asda,
Amazing.
which was a massive... We're in retailers, and we've been in retailers pretty much from the start, but George has been a big one because it's the first retailer that's selling the loungewear.
Right.
And it's George, you know, it's a massive...
Because wasn't it all just bikinis at the start?
Yeah.
That was your original plan, wasn't it?
Well, that was the business. It was like multi-way, reversible, like pool party type swim.
Right.
But we always knew we'd expand into something else because it wasn't going to be enough to expand to what Lord Sugar would want to.
Yeah.
But then when COVID hit, it was a bit like, okay, we need to do it a lot quicker than we'd planned to, really.
Right. Right, I'm just going to recap to this camera here, yeah? So Sian won the Apprentice, Alan Sugar's Apprentice programme on BBC One, is it?
Yeah.
In two?
Two? I don't
know. One or two. It's on one of them.
One of them, BBC.
Definitely on iPlayer. In 2018, and am I right in thinking that it was it, you didn't get a job with this one, did you? You just got an investment to start your own business.
250 grand.
Right, sick. Mm-hmm. And so tell me about that programme.
Have you watched it?
Yeah, I've watched that. I watched your one.
Did you?
That's how I know who you are.
Did you want me to win though?
Did I want you to win?
You're having to think about it.
I did not want you to win. I can't remember. Is the truth. I can't remember if I wanted you to win or not. I'm just being real with you. I genuinely can't remember.
I've never asked that question and they've said, "Oh, I'm not sure." Every time it's like, "Yeah."
No, I just can't remember. I remember what I do remember of it. I remember that you were boss-like on it, and I remember thinking, all right, if I be honest about that programme, most people I run my own businesses, right? So I know what it takes to run a business and make money out of a business. Mm. And what I see on that programme, 80% of them won't get a job here.
Yeah.
I won't employ them here. So I don't know why Alan Sugar would. Most of them.
Yeah. It's hard, isn't it? Because
they've got to make TV and they've got to find someone who's actually capable of doing.
Yeah, exactly. It's an entertainment show, and there's a lot.
And I think you fitted a nice balance between making good TV and actually having something about yourself.
Solid business. I think it's interesting because being on the show and getting to know the other candidates and learning about their businesses or ideas. Yeah. You have that same thing. Like for me, I was very serious about business, and that's what I was going on there for at the end of the day. And I thought, even if I don't win, I'll get exposure for the business.
Yeah, definitely.
But I guess you do sometimes look at some people and think, are you actually on it for that, or are you on it for other reasons?
Did your orders go mental every time the show aired?
They did, but it was tough for us because we were a swim brand, and it aired in December, like October to December. So it was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I think back now, if I'd have had loungewear like what we sell now, it would have absolutely gone wild. But we did get mass awareness from it, and it did help, obviously, massively. We got into ASOS by the end of the show.
Oh, really?
Which was that was a big step for us. So yeah, it's pretty sick, to be honest.
What's Alan Sugar like?
Everybody asks that question.
Yeah.
Is exactly how you would probably imagine him to be. It's exactly like he is on the show. It's not an act. Do you know what I mean? People think that off camera it's all fun and games, and it's not.
What about those people that are with him? Who were they? Did they actually work for him?
They're the same. Well, I'm not sure what they do.
Are they actors?
No, Karen and Claude.
Yeah.
They're like massive business people.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Karen used to be
showing my ignorance here.
They're both, very successful in their own right.
Are
But they genuinely, as like the trio, they all know each other and are friends. Right. So, And they're really scary because, you know, like you see them sat watching all the tasks. They actually sit there, like you'll be sat brainstorming a task and they'll be sat right next to you just
actually watching?
Yeah.
Like actually taking it seriously?
Taking notes and everything.
Really?
And you honestly, it's really real. I think people think it's all fake.
This is what I want to ask you.
It's real. The whole thing's real.
So the tasks are real?
Everything's real, and it's harder than what you see because we all live in a house together, so it's a bit like Big Brother.
Yeah.
And the tasks, you get like, sometimes you'll have 10 minutes to brainstorm a name for something.
Right.
And imagine anyone, Alan Sugar himself, brainstorming a name in 10 minutes,
Yeah.
you're gonna pick something that's not the best, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course you are.
It's a lot harder than people realise, and it's very real.
What about when you're finding people who are buying stuff on the street? That's what I thought set up.
No, it's not.
So you cold selling people.
Cold selling, and I think it's hard as well because there's cameras, so a lot of people waste your time because they just want to be on. They just want airtime. Do you know what I mean? But people always say, "Do you really wake? You know, in the morning when they come in the bedroom and wake you up?
Yeah.
Is that real? That's like the most real part. You
Really?
literally. It got to a point for me where I was like, right. I had eyelashes on at the start, and by the end, my eyelashes had come off. So I used to think, right, I need to get up and get them lashes on before anyone comes in that bedroom, because literally no one's going to recognise me.
Yeah.
So by the end, I kind of learned
the routine of
but
it.
they used to come in at like 4 or 5 in the morning with the cameras
Really?
right in your face. Yeah.
Really?
It was a lot. Yeah.
No, that's a lot. That 5 a.m, cameras.
Yeah.
No.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And imagine some tasks you'd be working till late in the night, so you'd barely have sleep, like you'd be tired, and that's why people make mistakes and say stupid things, because everybody's knackered.
Yeah. And how long did you film it for? How long did it take to make it?
It films over a couple of months.
Yeah.
And it's very intense. Yeah, it's really intense. It's long days, long nights, long hours. Like, you are genuinely knackered by it. So. Yeah, it's interesting. I watch it now so different because I have respect for everyone, even the crazy people on it. Yeah. I have respect for them because I know how hard it is. Yeah.
And so you know them boardroom meetings. So when you go in the boardroom meetings and they go, right, you're fired.
Yeah.
Or this person, she effed up, blah 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 blah. Yeah. Is that real?
Yes.
So when you were throwing people under the bus.
Yeah. It's all real.
Really?
100%.
No way.
At the end of the day,
I thought it was a blag.
End of the day, the investment's real.
Yeah, so I thought that might be real.
It's like he genuinely needs to work out if these candidates are worth him investing $250,000.
And is it his money? Is it not the BBC's money?
I don't know about that, but I work with him, so I imagine it's his money.
Guessing.
Yeah.
So is he still involved?
Still involved now. Yeah. We still speak like at least once a month, depending on where he is and what he's doing. We have Zooms once a month, but we talk a lot. Yeah.
Do you get on well with him?
I get on with him. Yeah. I think because he just says it as it is, like he does on the show. And I'd rather that in business. Do you know what I mean? Rather than someone just talking rubbish, or it works well for me.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy with how it's going.
So since you left the show, obviously, like, COVID's a problem for everyone. Are you happy with how far you've managed to take that investment and how far you've managed to make it go?
100%, because partly because of COVID as well, because I'm like, when COVID first came around and I was speaking to a friend and they were saying, you know, this is going to be a massive problem.
Yeah.
And at the time I was thinking, probably won't be. And then
I thought it'd be 2 weeks.
Well, I thought whatever it is, we'll get through it, whatever.
Yeah.
But then when we launched a range in the March, a swimwear range, and people were sending it back saying my holidays had been cancelled because of COVID. That's when I started to think, actually, this could be really damaging for us, because we're UK and we swimwear, like no one can go on holiday.
Yeah.
And we're not really swim you wear at a spa, or even they were closing anyway.
Yeah.
So it was a bit like panic stations, because you'll know with business, it doesn't really matter how much investment or money you've got. With COVID, it was like shutting shop. So we literally had to adapt. And the loungewear, the way we had to do it was so quick to what you normally would as a brand. Like you'd be working a year in advance normally, do you know what I mean? But for us to turn it around, I say it's because I'm very involved, so I was able to do that.
Are you designing stuff?
Yeah, I do all the designs. I do
you?
Everything, yeah. Not everything, but I do all the designing, yeah.
Really?
That's like it's my name, so it's key for me. I'm like, it needs to be authentic. It needs to be
Do you menswear?
Designing. No, but I'm considering it. Everybody asks me about men's, and I'm like, I want to just crack this market first.
I mean, I can imagine.
You could probably wear this because everything's oversized. So like, I have gilets we class them as unisex, to be honest, because men do buy them. But like my boyfriend,
I can imagine that working in them. You could tweak that to fit.
Yeah.
Does your boyfriend wear it?
He won't want me to say it, but he wears.
But he does wear it, doesn't he?
He wears the gilet every day.
Stop being tight, man. Support your missus' brand.
He gets it free.
You get it for free, bro.
No, but it's the way that the vibe of the product, it's like young and cool, and it would work for men and women. Do you know what I mean? It's just all about quality and finish as well. So we're trying to not be like the fashion brands where you're paying a tenner. It's going to last one wash. Do you know what I mean? We're like, pay a bit more, it's going to last you for a lifetime, really.
Yeah, I think people don't want cheap anyway.
I think it's just, you have to think about sustainability and stuff like that now. Mm-hmm. As a brand, I think it's really important. And I know fast fashion is what it is, and I know that everybody loves it, but it's really not that, like, ethical. It's not great.
Do you think the fast fashion bubble's going to pop?
I think it will eventually, yeah. I think it's about education, though, as well. I think, like, with the younger girls especially, we need to teach them, like, you don't need to buy a new outfit every week. Like, especially with loungewear, I'm like, you don't need to buy a new
You definitely don't need to buy new loungewear every week.
Like, unless you're buying it from me.
Unless you should be cutting your sales. You don't need to buy it twice.
No, but it's more like, you know, if you
what I mean is you don't need to buy it twice. If it's quality, it can last.
Yeah, exactly. If you're buying one of our tracksuits, the heavyweight, like the ones we've got on the side at the minute are like the heaviest polycotton we could use, like brushed inside, so it's really cozy. You wash them 50 times, they'll still be as good of a finish. So for me, it's more about value for money, because even though I wouldn't class as being expensive, really, you could get a tracksuit hoodie for 35, joggers for 30.
Right, 65.
It's not that bad.
Mid-priced.
It's mid-priced, but you think that's going to last you a lot longer. It's actually better value for money when you think about it, really. Yeah,
definitely. So. And are you going to have you still got the swimwear as well? Yeah,
so we do still have bits of swim, and we'll continue to do that, because that's who
what
we
it was,
are.
Wasn't it?
I don't want to lose who we are and what we were originally about, but it'll just be a kind of an addition to the lounge.
Right,
so it'll kind of run along. Like for next summer, we've got some really nice summery loungewear with some swim that you could kind of wear together. So,
what made you want to do this? What made you want to be in business?
Well, the
thing is... Do you regret it as well?
Do I regret it?
And do you regret it?
Do I? No, do I? No. Do I? Hell, no, definitely not. It's tough. It's really tough. And I think I do a lot of public speaking.
That's what I mean, it is hard.
Yeah. I speak to loads of young kids who all say, I want to set up a business. And, you know, I feel like they look at social media and think that it's just all glamorous. And I'm like, listen, the truth is it's not. And it's really difficult. And there's a lot of hurdles. But for me, I enjoy what I do. So it's never like I wish I'd never done this. It's like I just find a solution, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I definitely don't regret being in business. And then starting the business it was never, I never sat one day and said, I'm going to set up a business today. I just I learned how to make clothes at uni. Yeah. And I had an Instagram page. Yeah. And I used to just post stuff that I used to make swim because it was really easy to make, like on one sewing machine.
Serious?
It's literally. People always think it's a really glamorous. I'm like, I made it because it was simple.
Easy to do.
And yeah, I just started posting stuff on Instagram, and then I got like stylists saying, "Oh, I've got so-and-so celeb, and she's going away, and she wants a piece of swim." And I had Kate Wright one time, you know, Rio Ferdinand. Kate Ferdinand now. Her stylist asked for loads of bikinis, made them all myself on my sewing machine. Sent them at home during I think I was working full time then, so I was doing it in like my mornings and my nights. Yeah. And sent it all off, and I thought, that's probably just some random person. Yeah. She got a load of free bikinis. Yeah. And then she wore 2 of them, I think, on a Dubai holiday. Yeah. And that was where it became a business. She got papped. She posted, it was in the press. It was all over the place. And like with the Daily Mail, they'll do like a little link to your page or your website, whatever. I don't think we even had a website.
Did it go off from that?
Yeah, it literally, the Instagram, because it wasn't like it is now. It was really organic then. So you know what I mean. People would just be like, "Oh my god,
the algorithm was totally different."
Yeah, it was a lot easier than it is now, and that was how it became a business. I I own up to it. I am now, but I wasn't a businesswoman. I was a designer.
Yeah.
And, I ended up...
So when you went on The Apprentice, would you say at that point you were a designer or a businesswoman?
I was a businesswoman at that point because I'd had the stage with Kate. From there, because I didn't have much money, so I didn't, I couldn't afford to get a website made. I learned how to do a lot of it myself.
Did you build your own website?
Yeah. I'm like literally
your own e-com website.
E-com. It was a WordPress site
Really?
initially. Yeah, I did a course in it. I think I paid about 500 quid.
Yeah.
And,
you could have bought a website for that 500 quid.
I couldn't, because every time I got quotes, they were like $5,000, and I thought,
for an e-com,
for a proper functional,
Yeah.
And at the time, I was just doing it all on Instagram DMs, but I was like, I can't handle it. I need a base. So I set up a page, and even now, I like the fact that I've taught myself everything. So I know it. I don't know everything, but I know a lot, So
when your web guy is saying X, Y, and Z, you've got an understanding of what he's talking about.
Exactly.
And you can then put valuable input back into that sort of thing.
And it helps with everything, saving money, being more savvy. I know sometimes it pains me to have to pay people to do things because I think I could do it myself. But as a business person, you can't.
Got to delegate to accelerate.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then sometimes you delegate and you're like, oh, I just wish I could have saved that money. But, that's what the hardest thing I think for me as a business person is.
Now, what I meant before by saying, do you regret it? Because I was having a conversation with someone the other day. And one of the things that, I've never had a job. I've always been self-employed from day one, in one way or another. So, but the idea... obviously you got your overheads, you got all this money you got to pay out every single month, and that money's fixed. You're paying that money no matter what.
Yeah.
Whether you earn a bean or not, it doesn't matter. You're still paying that money. And when I go sleep at night, I think, God, I've still got huge amounts of money, thousands of pounds to pay out every month.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think, God, imagine having a job.
I know what you mean.
You go there at 9 o'clock, you leave at 5, and that's you done.
And you get paid regardless.
And you get paid regardless. You don't have to, from 5 p.m. at night till 9 o'clock the next morning, you haven't got to think about it.
Yeah.
You got your, but as you know, this doesn't stop.
No.
This is 24/7.
See, it's funny because my story started where I finished uni and I got a job in marketing because I wanted to stay in Leeds and I couldn't get a job in fashion and I couldn't afford to move to London.
Yeah.
So I thought I'll get a job in marketing and on the side I'll just do I didn't even want to make money from it necessarily. I just thought I'll just do my designs and whatever. Yeah. And I was working full time.
Yeah. Up
until I went on The Apprentice. So I was doing I guess you could class it as like a side hustle, making bits of money with the business.
Yeah, sick. That's what it's about.
Because I never dared to take that step because I was the same. By that point, I had bills to pay. I wasn't living at home. I had, you know what I mean? And at that time, I thought, because I'm enjoying the business, I don't want to put too much pressure on it making money.
Yeah.
I wanted to reinvest everything.
Yeah.
So I only took that leap once I'd won the show.
Yeah.
But I completely understand the struggle and the questioning on it because it is tough. It is tough.
It's hard, man. But
even as a business owner, when it's really successful, COVID proved you just don't know what's around the corner.
Yeah.
You know. So we just launched this new range and literally just got it all sent back and people were like, we don't need it, we're not going on holidays.
Really?
So there was a period of time where
just returns.
Returns, and we couldn't get the lounge done quick enough to have it instant. So there was a few months of okay, what we're going to do. So we started to rework the swimwear and produce washable, reusable face masks. And we classed them, obviously, they were non-clinical. And at the time, even now, people don't even know whether they've worked or not or, how it was. But it was one of them where I was like, if it's going to help, we've got this swimwear, it's costing us nothing really to rework it. It's actually recycling that whole sustainable thing. So there was a period of time of us doing that and we actually did all right.
So were you physically doing that yourself?
We had people doing it.
Yeah.
But I was involved. It was a lot, there was a lot going on.
So what did you have designer face masks sort of thing?
You could class them as that, I guess. We just had different coloured. You could get packs of 3. And, we had then some basic black ones and it actually was a really cool idea initially, but it was
still do them?
No, when we switched to this new lounge, we were like, let's just take it off now.
The face mask off.
It was just one of them. I was originally going to design it into the outfit, so you'd have a matching one.
Yeah.
But
that'd be cool.
I know it would be cool. Because look, I mean, we're still in it now, really, aren't we? There was a lot with COVID where I was thinking for small businesses, they need so much more support than what they were getting because they employ people at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And as a business owner, sometimes I think, God, we're trying as best and it's like you get nothing. And I just think it's really unfair sometimes. You know what I mean? Like we should be encouraging people to set up businesses to help the economy and help.
100%.
Like,
do you feel like as a woman and as a woman of colour that there is an element of responsibility in terms of inspiring that next generation? Do you feel that?
Definitely, 100%, yeah. And I think just going on the Apprentice and getting, social media.
Were you the first woman to win the Apprentice?
First black woman. There's been other women before. I think Tim Campbell was the first person to win it. He was a black guy, but there's not been a black female, mixed race female.
That's sick.
I don't even know if they've been one in the final. Might have been one in the final before, but it was amazing for me. I think being northern as well, it just.
Where are you from? Leeds.
Leeds, yeah.
Accent
Can't
all
tell
day.
from my strong accent.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a lot for me, and when I was at uni, I had tutors who'd say like, you're not gonna. In this industry, you're going to have to be in London to be successful and to make it. And I was like, I'm pro North. So I was like, I'm going to do it from wherever I want to do it. Yeah. So there was a lot of drivers for me. And now I'm just in a position where I'm really happy that I've been able to do what I've done.
Why everyone gasses about London. At the end of the day, it's about 10 times the price.
It's different nowadays as well. It's not like social media has allowed you to do whatever you want from wherever you want. Yeah. And for a lot less, it's true. Like, I'd rather be based in the north because everything's cheaper here.
See your offices, whatever you're paying for your offices in, where's Bradford, you said?
Bradford.
Yeah. You can deck that for London.
Yeah.
Easy.
That's what I mean.
Even more.
That's what I mean. There's a lot of benefits to being in the north. But part of it for me is wanting to employ people.
Yeah, and
open up opportunities.
Create opportunity, exactly.
To where I'm from. Yeah. So, and I think definitely being mixed race, being black, I get young girls all the time like inboxing me saying, oh my God, I watched you on the show and I saw myself in you, like I want to be like you when I'm older. So I'm like, that's, for me, I think that's like the biggest tick in the box. Sick. The reason why I'm, I do what I do, I guess, to have that kind of, it's weird saying to be an inspiration to someone. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Feels weird saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you are though, man.
It makes me feel old.
You got to own it.
No, and do you know what I do? And I think it's important nowadays because social media is amazing, but it's got a lot of negativity to it as well. So for me, I'm like, if I can be a solid inspiration for younger girls,
and a positive role, a positive figure
doing
out
good
there,
things, not craziness, like. And I think that's why I like The Apprentice and having a business and being linked to it because it's very credible. It's a TV show, but it's factual and it's real. Yeah. And I'm really happy.
I can't believe it's real.
Yeah. Did you actually think it were all just for camera?
I thought it was about 50% staged.
No, it's very, very real. And I wish that you actually got to see.
I'm glad it's real because I'm gonna next time I watch that, I'm gonna watch it differently. Now you're telling me this, because I was sure that it was like. I thought, well, I bet they give him a task and then they give him all the customers.
No.
And the customers are probably actors.
Definitely not. It must be so hard to film because it's not that, and you have got real people that you're dealing with, and it's all quite random as well. Do you know what I mean? Like you'll have a task, but you don't know who you're going to meet on the street and what conversations are going to be had. So it's very it's very real, but it's a bizarre one to be part of because you're away from home for a long time. Yeah. You're knackered. You're doing these crazy tasks. Yeah. And it's all very tight timing. You literally have 5 minutes to think of things that you'd normally spend 2 months on. Do you know what I mean?
What was it like when you won?
It was amazing.
Could you believe
weird.
It?
No.
Did you think I've won? Did you think? Right, I've just won the fucking Apprentice.
So before I went on it, I used to watch it with my dad all the time. Like, and I'm a massive fan of it. And I used to say to him before I even had the brand, like, I want to go on this one day. Yeah. Like, if I went on this, Dad, I swear to God, I'd win. Yeah. And he'd be like, okay. And then to get on it, even just to get on it, I was like, oh my God, what
was that process like?
That was a crazy process. And what was weird about that was when you'd go to the auditions, there were so many people there.
Really?
Literally. so many people, and I used to walk in every single time and think, I'm going to get kicked out. Like this, I'm not going to get further than this now. Like, and
what happens? You go to an audition.
You have to apply yourself and see what happens. It's just a crazy process.
Tell me, are you?
You'd have to go and do it because you couldn't even explain it. It's
all right, just give me yes
difficult.
or no's to this then. Is it like you're applying for a job and it's is it almost like they're filtering you down for that, or is it more about how you're going to be on TV?
There's just a mix of everything.
You're getting good at this, aren't you? Avoiding questions.
I've done this for a while now.
So when he told you that you'd won,
yeah,
what was that like?
It was crazy because I think for me, when I got on the show, my main task was to not leave in week one. That was like, that'd be the most humiliating thing. No offense to anyone who's left in week one, but I was like, I just don't want to leave week one. And then once I'd got to like midway, I knew I could win it. Yeah. But I got to midway and I thought, right, I want to win this now. Yeah. Like it was a long process and I was tired and I thought I need to win this. Yeah. And then when I got to the final, I'm really competitive. So I was like, me and Camilla, who I was in the final with, were like best friends on the whole series. And it was weird because
you still talk?
Yeah, we all do. We were in a group chat, like everyone's cool.
From that season?
Yeah.
Wicked,
we had as dramas, but we actually genuinely all
got on really well.
Yeah, and I think because you're in it together, you've experienced
you bond
it
a bit as well. Yeah.
And no one actually gets it other than them. Like you can't explain it. Do you know what I mean? But I think, getting to the final with Camilla was, it was a tricky one because we both wanted to win and we both were really competitive. But for me, I was like, I ain't got this far now to come second. Yeah. I would have been more annoyed about that than going first week, like 100%.
Yeah.
So,
really?
Yeah, because I would have felt like, my dad's really sporty and I've always played sports and he's always kind of been like, you want gold, you don't want to come second, you don't want to be you want to be first.
Second is losing.
Kind of, but he's not that kind of, do you know what I mean? Like, you don't back down your throat, but it is one of them where I'm like, if I'm going to get to this point, I can't come second now. And then to win it was like, I was just like, right, let's go. Like literally the next day I was like, can we just crack on with this business then? Because, I had on my business plan, I knew what I wanted to do. And
literally the next day.
And it literally was, like we caught up. I wasn't sure what would happen, how it would be. I didn't know if it would
just straight away.
Literally. We had a break for Christmas and New Year, and everybody had said just have this time off. Yeah. So I went away because I was like, no, I just want to get started. And then I was like, actually, let's just have a bit of time. Yeah. And then New Year, boom, and I think I spent Christmas in Miami that year. Had the best time. Yeah. And then literally start of Jan was like, right, let's go, let's do it. And it was exactly how I hoped it would be, to be fair. Yeah, it was.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, it was sick.
So it wasn't like one of them where they say it's all this on the show and then actually once you've won it, the cameras have been turned off, the production team's gone home and go like, actually, about that, it's a bit different.
Yeah, no, and that's, I think for everybody, you kind of think, is that what it would be? Or is it where like, you might not actually deal with Lord Sugar. You might just deal with his team.
But you do deal with him?
Deal with him, and he's at fair play because he's got however many other series there's been. There's plenty of other winners.
Has he got shares in it?
Yeah, it's 50-50.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So is that part of the deal? Like okay, yeah. But fair enough if he's giving you...
It is kind of fair enough.
Yeah.
But
still, 50-50 is a good deal, really, for you. Considering you got Lord Sugar and all them resources.
It's good for us.
It's how you in Asda and all them places.
The main thing for me was I was a designer, so I'm like, I need the business. I need someone who can help guide us and the whole structure and how we used to do things. I needed to, we were going into mass production and I needed factories and there were a lot that I was like, I need help with it. So it was invaluable having someone like him, there to give that advice.
Are you going to diversify, go into other stuff outside of clothing?
I don't know if we'd go into anything other than clothing, but we would go into new areas of clothing. I think the first thing for us, we're really new to loungewear, really. Like, we've not been doing it that long. I want to nail that as a female brand. Yeah. Then potentially look at other options of kids, male, whatever. Yeah. Maybe if I have a kid, then I'd think about kids. And, and then who knows, as a brand, I would want to grow that big that we could go into whatever we wanted to do, and that's one thing about Lord Sugar is he thinks big for everything. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's not investing to just, make a little bit of money. He wants you to be.
He wants to be the biggest thing out there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I think what you've done in like such a short period of time, especially to get into George, that's brilliant, man.
Yeah.
Because this is a whole new loungewear. It's like there's swimwear and there's loungewear. Like they're not like.
They're not linked really.
No.
And
so it's to have such a good launch with that is amazing.
Yeah, and do you know what? When we first changed into lounge, we work with influencers, but we usually gift. Like we one thing that's really hard as a designer is paying someone to wear your clothes, because you're a bit like, I kind of want you to just wear them because you like them.
Yeah.
And we gifted to a couple of, you know, like Molly Mays and Maura Higgins and. Last year, and most of the people we gifted wore the stuff, or they did hauls on them, and for me I was like, that is literally them saying this stuff is good, like,
because you've not paid them, you just give it them,
and they're just wearing it as an outfit, you know, they're not being paid to wear it, so having someone like Molly
they charge
May,
you a bomb to wear it,
ridiculous. I mean
15, 20, 30 grand.
We looked at Kardashians and they're like 100,000 plus for a post,
for one post.
It's nuts. But then I guess you'd
probably get it back, though.
You would get it back, and you'd make a profit, but you'd have to be ready. You'd have to have enough stock to be ready for it. But it was good for us. We got to see how things really did without paying. So it's been a crazy journey. And I also like the fact that with the Molly Mays, she probably wouldn't have even known about the Apprentice or anything like that. Yeah. She just saw the product and liked it and wore it, and that's like a pat on the back for me. So
she wouldn't have known about the Apprentice, and I don't think she would have
wouldn't
worn
have cared.
it.
Even if she did, she wouldn't have been like, "Oh, I'll wear this because it's low sugar."
No way would she. She might have not wore it because of that.
Potentially, but I think it's just because it's good quality. It's, you know, and a lot of the influencers are working with fast fashion brands, and they're probably getting the stuff, and it's all right, but it's, you know, it is what it is. Our stuff, you'll receive it, and it's heavyweight, it's thick. And for the price, you're probably thinking, to be fair, this is quite good stuff. You don't really get that anywhere anymore. So everything's just cheap.
Yeah.
No disrespect, but it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Sian, thank you so much for coming down today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's been great to chat.
Wicked.